Hello, I bring you greetings this new week. I am Elijah Elvis Kraftzmann, your host for the Signature Podcast. I am super excited to be back on your screen this very moment with another episode of the Signature Podcast. And if you have been following us via our audio platforms like Spotify, Audio, Radio Public, Overcast, Audio Mark, whatever platform at all, whether it's Apple Podcasts, whether it's Teacher, Deezer, just name it. Thank you for always tuning into the Signature Podcast and listening to Elijah Elvis. Thank you for your feedbacks. I receive a lot of feedbacks from you all, and you are the real MVPs. I celebrate you, and I'm glad at the value that you're getting from us. This new week, on this episode of the Signature Podcast, we continue with our previous subject. Last week we started to talk about how to become a person of value, and the truth is that that particular episode of the Senior Podcast is having a lot of engagement, because I believe that in this time and age there isn't so many people who are valuable, and because it is a crucial thing, is a crucial requirement that a lot of people need. I'm excited to say a lot of people are asking questions and finding answers on how they can improve on their self-value and on their self-worth. So I could not finish up with what I had planned out for the last episode, so I am going to continue today. But before I go on, I'm just going to do a little recap of the things that I said in the last episode of the Signature Podcast. Remember, one of the profound things that I said is that sometimes you need to forget what you and others feel about you and remember what you deserve. Sometimes it is difficult for you to know that you deserve this, but you're considering about your feeling, how you feel about yourself, or what others feel about you. You know, for instance, somebody is asking you, how much is your services worth? How much is your product worth? How much can I pay you to get me to get you to do this XYZ stuff for me? And then you begin to think, this person is my friend, or this person is my mother-in-law, this person is my pastor. Let me not tell him what I deserve, so it doesn't look like I'm asking for too much. Or, am I asking for too much if I tell this person this is what I'm worth in terms of the delivery of this service? So sometimes do not consider how you feel about yourself or what others feel about you, and go for what you deserve. Sometimes sentiments become the limiting factor that stops us from, taking advantage or taking into cognizance of our value. Can I say that again? Sometimes sentiments become the roadblock that hinder us from taking into full cognizance our self-value. So for you to become a person of value, you need to identify your current status, your current level of value. When you are able to identify, this is my current level of value, you can be able to place demand on yourself and on people based on that level of value. So if you want more from yourself and for yourself, it means that you need to stuff in more value into yourself. If you stuff in more value into yourself, what that is going to do is that you can be confident and you can be bold enough to claim what you deserve unapologetically. So one thing you should take away from this podcast today is that you must at all times evaluate your current level of value. And when you evaluate your current level of value, be unapologetic in laying demands for the things that you deserve at that current level of value. It will be funny and it will be so disheartening for you to be demanding what you don't deserve at your current level of value. If you're worth 50 million naira, there isn't anything that it is inappropriate for you to be demanding for a 500 million worth of something. It means that you do not deserve it. Whether it's a payment for your service, you know that you are not worth this value. and you're demanding for it. That is arrogance. That is stealing. You're a thief. So you need to be able to put in so much value in yourself that whatever price tag you name, for yourself or for your services, people would afford it. Before I started recording this podcast today, I was listening to a very popular Nigerian who is a real estate mogul and has become global with the real estate business. I'm telling you, he is functioning in Dubai, in the US, in just name all the countries. He literally has, his tentacles spread across. And this is someone that has been doing business for just a little above a decade. But I'm not sure he's been doing the real estate business for up to a decade, but he has been able to build a global brand for himself. But one of the things he was saying in the video I watched before I started recording this podcast is that he was saying that, his seminars, he organizes seminars, but he literally does not make any money from the seminars, right? So it is something he does, even though it is a paid seminar, it is something he does to give back to the community. That where he literally makes his money from is maybe when he sells his books in the seminars, or when he engages on coaching sessions with top executives who want to learn from him how he's been able to immerse the level of success that he has today. And he mentioned, can I tell you something? He mentioned that he charges people as much as $20,000 for coaching. Imagine that, right? So it would be foolishness for me at this level of my life, because I believe in process. I believe in growth. It would be funny for me to begin to lay demands on people to pay $20,000 to me for coaching sessions right now at my current level. The truth is, as I grow in value, I can lay demands that are commensurate to the level of value that I have been able to put into myself. So asking for $20,000 per month coaching session from me, to be honest, to be frank, I'm being honest with you right now, would be me, trying to rob somebody of their money. But as I grow in value, as I keep developing myself, I grow in my career, I grow in my business, in my level of experience as well and exposure, I can even ask for as much as $1 million per month coaching session, and it will be paid, right? So why am I saying this? I'm laying emphasis on this so that you realize that when you think that people do not value so much, it is not because they do not value so much. It is because you've not put in commensurate value in yourself. You'll be amazed that there is a certain role, that is open for two persons, and one other person comes. The first person comes and they'll be offering to pay the person maybe $1 million for that particular role. But another person would come for the same role, the same people, the same organization, and you'll be amazed that they will be offering that person almost 5 times what they are offering the other person. Why? It is in their level of value. There's a way you'll be so valuable. Some people will look at you and say, man, we cannot patronize your service. Like, we literally know that you are good with what you do, but we can't afford you at this time. Or they will tell you that, man, you are so good that right now our budget cannot fit into affording your level of service. That is what value means. You grow in value to the point that not everybody will have access to you. Not everybody will afford your services or product or whatever it is you offer. It is in the level of value you put into yourself. I have digressed a little bit, but I am just going to go straight into what I have to share today. But last week I mentioned that you need to improve on your character if you want to become a person of value. And I said, stop your chase for money. Stop worshiping money, but create value, because money goes in the direction of value. Stop chasing money. The more you chase money, the more money runs away from you. But as you give yourself consistently into creating value, as people pay for your value, you make so much money from the value that you provide. So do not chase after money. Do not worship money, but create value, which will in turn grant you access to maximum plenty money. All right. So I also mentioned that do not go after fame, but rather go after significance. A lot of people are so given to clout chasing. They are chasing after fame. They want to be famous. They want to be known. They want to be heard. But instead of doing that, why not think of ways to begin to create consistent value, living a life of significance and impact that everyone could attest to how much impact you're making in their lives as you engage in creating impactful value. Your fame naturally will spread abroad. People will talk about you. People will make references to you. People will recommend you to people. All right. And that way, your noise is being spread abroad. Your fame is being spread abroad, by your works, by the things you're doing, to create impact in the lives of people. I mentioned that you must learn to control yourself, that he that has failed to be master of his own self, will never be able to be master over others. So you must learn to master yourself, master your emotions, and develop what is called discipline. Now, I made a lot of emphasis on your network. I said you must build your network, and not just any kind of network, quality network, because your network determines your net worth. Who you have around you will determine the extent your life will grow to. It will also determine how fast you can grow. There are people that will come into your life and they'll become a catalyst for your growth. Whereas there are people that come into your life and they become extinguishers of your dream, extinguishers of your passions, extinguishers of your aspirations. They will quench it until it is dead. But there are people, the moment they come into your life, they fast track your growth. They become a catalyst for change. They become a catalyst for advancement. You need to seek out intentionally those people that have a way of stirring up your passions, that have a way of stirring up bigger dreams, goals, and aspirations in you, and not just stir them up, but they become a catalyst for speedy, accelerated growth in your life. Build your network intentionally. Build your network intentionally. Can I share this with you? My life currently is as a product of networking, intentional power networking. Last year, I attended an event and I decided to network or connect with the organizer of the event, the host, the chief host of that event, and that single contact has moved my life from point A to where it is right now. I wouldn't share with you the level of success and growth I've experienced in just 2 months, but that was as a result of making one contact. A lot of we all know what is called, destiny helper and all of that. You are just one contact away from your destiny helper. But why are you not making that move, that step, to connect with that destiny helper? You will pray in the house, in the night, in the morning, every time in the church, and you shout and scream, amen, amen, amen. My destiny helper locates me. But you'll be sitting by your destiny helper in a conference, in a summit, in a bus, or in a flight to Lagos or wherever, but you will never make an intentional effort to connect with them. You are your problem, really. Sorry that I sounded the way I sounded, but that is the truth. Change your network and you will grow in your outreach. And the more you grow in your outreach, you grow and you make progress in every area of your life. And then I mentioned that you must be versatile in knowledge. You must invest in knowledge. You must be an addict to learning. You must be addicted to learning, continuous learning, continuous self-improvement, whether it is by way of listening to podcasts. As you're going to be listening to my podcast right now, it means you're committed to learning. You're committed to personal development. You must be committed to reading books. You must be committed to taking up new programs, new courses, just keep learning new things. Be versatile in knowledge. Know a little about everything and know everything about one thing. Can I say that again? Know a little about everything, but know everything about one thing. That way, at every given point in time, you can always provide value to people. All right. Be versatile in knowledge. This was where I stopped last week, and I'll continue today and say that in order for you to become a person of value, you must invest in small good deeds that bring smiles to others. You must learn to be a giver. Be a giver. Blessed is he that giveth than he that receiveth. As you give, whether in terms of material giving, whether it's in terms of sharing your knowledge for free, just like I'm doing right now, I'm not being paid to share this value. I'm not being paid to share this knowledge. I am doing it because it's an act of kindness that I'm doing in order to do what? To reach out to more people. As I am doing that without the chase of fame, as you're listening to this podcast and you're finding it impactful and helpful, what is happening to me? You share the link to someone else who is going to listen to it, and share the link to someone else. By so doing, my impact and my reach is being extended. All right. So invest in small act of kindness, engage in small deeds, put a smile on someone's face. Whatever it is you have to share with others. All right. Another thing you must do to become a person of value is that you must stop being negative and pessimistic. Nobody wants to hang around a pessimistic person. I, for one, will never want to be around someone who is full of negativity. Everything around you is just negative. You're disgruntled, you complain, you murmur of, oh my God, that is negative energy. Nobody wants to be around people with negative energy, negative vibes. I, for one, would want to be with someone who gives me life. Positivity is life. I was talking with someone over the phone one time, and she said, like, you're just full of life. You're full of energy. And that is true about me. I don't let whatever circumstance that I'm going through, to get a better part of me. I'm not saying this because I want to feel good about myself, but if you've known me for a very long time, personally, you would realize that this is true about me. There are never down times around me. Every time I maintain the same energy or even higher, no matter what I'm going through, I keep a positive mental attitude. It is something that I learned about a decade ago about developing a positive mental attitude, having a positive approach to things. How you respond to challenges determine how well you overcome that challenge. But a lot of people will choose to react instead, either by emotional outburst or by retreating or by caving into their shell. No, when challenges come, your attitude, if I tell you how I started this year, if I tell you, but I started the year, I chose to, toe the path of positivity. I believe that this year was going to be the best, and it's been flowing in that direction for me. So you can choose, no matter the circumstance, no matter what you're facing, to go the way of positivity, the way of optimism. Choose optimism over pessimism. Choose that no matter what you're going through, you're going to maintain a positive energy around you. And as you do that, you attract positivity around you. You attract positive people around you. Nobody wants to be with a negative person. You repel good people from coming close. You repel good people from yourself. All right. Another thing you must do is that you must refuse to be destitute and so dependent. Destitution and dependency or over dependency will make people run away from you. Do you know that when people notice that you are always beggarly, looking beggarly, seeking for sympathy, once you start approaching them, they'll start running away from you. Every time you're hungry, every time you don't have money, every time things are tough, every time this is not going right. Once you become that kind of person, people will run away from you. Once they sight you from afar, they get busy. They start acting busy, looking like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But I tell you the truth, if you always know how to carry yourself, no matter what you're going through, keep your shoulders high, not seeking for sympathy, but rather you can actually look for empathy, trying to get people to understand what you're going through and all of that. But when you are so drawn to sympathy and you want people to give you sympathy, always pitying you, giving you money and all of that, I tell you the truth, you will not attract valuable people to you. Don't meet people and the next thing you're trying to do is to project your problem, your challenges to them. You are going to repel them. All right. So incorporate capability and self-dependency in your life, no matter the level you are. Show up strong. This has worked for me. I tell you the truth. I tell some people that it does not, at least I heard Bishop Oyedepo say that one time. He said, it does not require money to look good. What you require to look good is sense. It takes sense to look good and not money. And the moment he said that, it clicked. I bought into that idea. So no matter what I'm going through, I'll try to always look good. I try to always dress smart, because how I look will determine how people will address me. A popular saying that goes, you dress the way you want to be addressed. Don't look like what you're going through. Don't look like what you're going through. Dress up, show up strong, show up, don't look pitiable, don't look beggarly, show up strong always, no matter how difficult it is. And I tell you the truth, it is in your showing up strong that you attract people who will find value in you. And as they find value in you, they would want to associate with you. Another thing you must learn to do is to become mud with the mud. But that does not mean that you should, settle for less, or you should, undermine yourself. No, what this simply means is when the Bible says, Apostle Paul says to the Jew, I become a Jew, to the strangers, I become a stranger, to the Hebrew, I become a Hebrew, to the Gentiles, a Gentile, to the Greek, a Greek. What it means is that relate with people at their own level. When you encounter people at a lower level of knowledge, don't despise them. Don't make them look small. Don't display any form of arrogance and say, oh, you mean you don't know this? No, respect people and learn to relate with people at their level of knowledge, at their level of exposure, at their level of experience. Once you identify their level, operate with them from that level. That doesn't mean that you're selling yourself so low or whatever, but what it means is that you're giving them room to be able to know their perception, how they perceive life, how they perceive things, and operate with them from that level. And from that level now, you can now move them to your own level if it is so necessary. All right. So I'm going to call it a close at this point by saying that if you want to be a person of value, you must choose to make a difference. Don't live your life like an ordinary person. Choose from this day that you're going to pursue hard after a higher cause, not just a cause to make money, have a good job, drive a good car, marry and live in the city of your choice. No, let something that is higher than life itself that we are living, material life itself, be your ultimate pursuit. Something that has an eternal value, something that has an eternal reward. Let it be something that drives you. Let your passion be to make impact in the lives of others, to live a life of significance that even your works here on earth, even after you have left, will continue to speak for you. Choose to be the difference. Choose to make a difference. That way you become a person of value. Thank you so much for listening to me on this episode of the Signature Podcast, as I call it a wrap on the subject, how to become a person of value. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. But before I leave, I encourage you to always engage on our podcast, on our reels. Always share, distribute it, get it across to your friends, your loved ones, your enemies. They need to hear what you're hearing. Thank you so much. I remain Elijah Elvis Kraftzmann, the host for Signature Podcast. God bless you and have a beautiful week ahead of you. I love you.